Welcome to Silver Linings Talk Show. I can't believe this is January of 2026.
Woohoo!
I know, and we bring to you Sheila McKinley-Bell of Shoreline HR Consulting, and the topic today is a hot one: civility in the workplace and beyond.
Yes.
And I had heard a little talk that Sheila did in a networking group that we belong to together, and it really intrigued me, and I thought this was something that would be so imperative to share. So Sheila, share with us a little bit about what you do in HR consulting, and then we can delve right into the topic.
Okay, well, in my consulting practice, I work primarily with small and medium-sized businesses that don't have human resources, don't need it on a full-time basis, but have HR needs from time to time. So my business model was built around being sort of as-needed HR. So businesses don't have the ongoing costs of an HR department, but they have a professional. I've been an HR professional for over 30 years, so they get all of the benefits of having a full-blown HR department. So, so that's what I do. And,
I love that. You know why? Because then you really truly see where the needs are.
Oh,
because
yes.
people are tagging you when they really truly need something.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Definitely.
I love that.
Can you tell us what things generally look like right now in the workplace and how that may expand to more of like a social global of just at least what you're seeing happening in the workplace, and sticking with the topic of civility?
Yeah, and I brought some slides to kind of show some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. But yeah, in all throughout last year, 2025, just past year, probably at least, well, I won't exaggerate and say once a week, but definitely once a month, I was receiving information from my trade association, the Society of Human Resources Management, about civility in the workplace. I was hearing about it from my clients who were saying that they were, running into problems with people who were just not getting along. There was a lot of disagreement, a lot of it around political issues, but there were lots of other reasons why people were just having conflicts in the workplace. So
those statistics on that slide.
Yeah, can you bring that slide up again?
We're very,
Yeah, so SHRM actually decided to do a survey, and actually it was up until, this information is up until September 4th of 2025. And so just to read them, 70.6 million acts of incivility are done per day among U.S. workers. There's 208.4 million acts of incivility per day in everyday life, because although my focus is on the workplace, because that's what I do, I tried to tie some of that into social life, and because there are absolutely social issues. The cost to productivity and absenteeism is $2 billion a day in lost productivity and absenteeism. 72% of employees surveyed think their supervisor could do more, and that tends to be a focus for me in my work, because there's still a long-standing trend that employees join organizations because of the work that they do, and they're interested in joining that organization, but they leave organizations for the same reason, and that is because of their relationship with their supervisor. So it stood the test of time. So so that's really important that that in my business that we focus on the supervisor. And then, of course, 94% of people report retaliating against the offender. That was shocking to me.
That's
because,
that's
and that's, I think, a difference that I've seen over the years in my practice, that, no longer will people just turn the other cheek kind of thing. When somebody does something that offends them, they will find a way to get back at them, whether in a passive-aggressive manner or directly. So that's a big concern in the workplace in particular.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I know Diane has the next topic. Diane, what do you think about those numbers?
No, staggering, scary, horrifying, actually.
I know.
Can you tell us the 7 hot trends then for HR management? What
So
what are you doing about it?
Well, I know we said 7 hot trends, but 3 of them batch into one area, which is hiring and recruiting. And it primarily centers around the use of AI and various tools that people use that include artificial intelligence. So I just batched those in. So we actually have four major trends right now. And then also personal, things that employers were focusing on throughout 2025, in particular, personalizing the employee journey to navigate a multi-generational workforce. And I'll probably focus a lot on that because that's one of the 5 contributing factors to conflict or incivility in the workplace. Number 3 is enhancing the employee experience. A lot of employers are trying to make sure that employees are really happy and doing whatever they can to keep them engaged in work. And also investing in employee well-being was very hot in 2025. And so employers that could afford it and invest in employee well-being programs of any kind in their benefits package, they were doing it.
Okay, so now that you've kind of addressed those hot topics, the concerns about these rises in incivility, are those directly correlating to those happy things that employers are trying to address?
Oh,
I know we
definitely.
do have a slide to take a look at and see what is being addressed.
Yeah, well, so before we actually get into the contributing factors, I just thought I'd take a minute to kind of describe the difference between civility and incivility. It seems like it would be obvious, but I just thought I'd take the time to do that. So civility is about being curious and learning and acknowledging others' viewpoints and expressing opinions, actively listening to people, being inquisitive about what they think, being together and engaging in dialogue. Incivility is about being right and winning and resorting to personal attacks or inflammatory language. It's also about ignoring, interrupting, deflecting, defending, and just a monologue, interrupting people and staying focused on your own opinions and rather engaging people in, like I said, a dialogue.
I love that you just shared that, because then what you were talking about, employers' focus, it seems to be trying to encourage teamwork and
Definitely.
bonding experiences.
Yes.
So it's in a sense, it's almost encouraging that civility versus incivility.
Definitely,
Yeah.
and that's really going to show up when we talk about the multi-generational workforce, because that is a challenge for employers, is trying to engage all of the generations in the way that they can be engaged.
Mm-hmm.
When you just shared that, I thought immediately about our social climate.
Yes.
And how, individuals, like you said before, may have been more lax about bringing in their personal opinions or their thoughts and tried to be more civil.
Yes.
And as you said that, I can definitely see, as just being in the macrocosm of life, right, is you can see how this relates, where people might bring in those social pieces of their thoughts, their beliefs, and
Yes.
feel like they need to no longer kind of have that maybe shield to not just bring it out.
A buffer.
Yeah,
A buffer?
Yeah, there seems to be a loss of filters, and
Yes,
and
filters.
people seem to feel that they, can just. My mother always raised me to, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And that is not the case nowadays. If people are thinking it, they're saying it, and it's, it's shocking sometimes. And some people are quicker than others and come right back, and that's when you have, can have some terrible conflict.
Yes.
But it is. It's really quite a change.
Yes. We have another slide to show, and it kind of focuses on diving in a little bit deeper into some of the contributing factors
Yes.
to incivility.
Yes.
Can we look at that?
So there's actually more than 5, but the top 5 are the political differences that we're all navigating on a daily basis. In the news, it's constant. Then there's social issue differences, generational gaps, which I'm going to take some time to really delve into that in particular. There's still racial and ethnic differences and concerns about immigration policy. Those seem to be the hottest contributing factors. But others are things like people have differences about the direction of society today, gender differences. The U.S. economy is always fun to talk about, and the selection of leaders and influences in the U.S. government that actually came right up in the SHRM survey. People didn't hold back about their feelings one way or the other about the current leadership in our government.
Sure.
So definitely that's a contributing.
Yeah. Wow. Diane,
Wow.
what do you think about that?
Can you talk about the leadership in your own life, business leadership, and what are we doing about this?
You mean about what? About incivility, or about how they're handling things? They're
Yeah, and leadership. How should leadership react to this?
Well,
Good question.
It is a good question, and it really depends on the situation. It's really, it's about teaching people to listen to each other, setting up situations where people will form in teams where they can communicate with each other, holding them accountable through their performance reviews and their compensation. And I'm, like I'm saying, this is my angle on all of this is from an employer perspective. So I'm really focused on the workplace. So there's a lot of tools that are available to employers to use to try to bring people together. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of that when I talk about the differences in all of the generations, because different generations respond to different methodologies, and the challenge for leaders nowadays is to be able to be mindful of those differences and be flexible about how to work those into their strategies to try to bring people together.
That's going to be a great piece of this conversation, because we know, and you know best, that businesses are made up of many generations.
Yes.
And they come with their own life experiences that impact their values, how they see the world.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's going to be a great conversation. I'm interested in that one too.
For sure, because is it different now that are there more generations working within more businesses now?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
So,
Interesting thing. People who are baby boomers that thought they were retiring early before the pandemic are now coming back. They're, in HR circles, it's being referred to as the gray wave. So, so there's currently 5 different generations that are in the workforce, and the baby boomers are actually coming back. They're still members of the silent generation that are still working. It's a small percentage, but they're still out there. And but the baby boomers that thought they were going to retire early, pre-pandemic, are coming back. So it's actually been a decent shot in the arm for some employers to bring people back, because baby boomers have a lot of experience that they don't have to be trained up. You have to spend a lot of money training them up. They can come right in and jump in and support the workforce. So
You put a slide on this topic.
Yes,
of
I do.
The
I do.
generation differences.
Yeah.
I want
Yes.
to check that out.
okay, well, let's get it up.
Yeah.
So so if you
these
look at the far
percentages?
right of the graph, that's the traditionalist. So this is showing you what percent of the workforce is in each of the generations. So to the far right is the silent generation. And these are the folks that are 79 years of age or older. And I put together I did a little research about different factoids and characteristics
to
of
hear
each
it.
of them.
Yeah.
Love it.
So these folks they grew up during a time of economic hardship and global conflict. They value loyalty, discipline, and a strong work ethic. They prefer face-to-face communication that resonates with them, and they respect authority and hierarchical structures. And they believe in an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. They're extremely loyal and enjoy being respected for that. And they're considered conformists and place a high value on job titles and money. And then there's the baby boomers. And these folks are 60 years of age or older. And they're also known as the me generation. And they make up 25% of the workforce. They entered the workforce during a period of post-war prosperity and are known for their dedication to career and upward mobility. They value job security, recognition, and have a competitive spirit. They are predominantly in their 60s and are well established in their careers. They're often ambitious, work-centric, loyal, and cynical. I like that part.
You got to have a little cynicism.
Meaning they're questioning.
Yes, exactly. They prefer monetary rewards, but also enjoy non-monetary rewards like flexible retirement planning, flexible work schedules, and peer recognition,
Nice.
And are considered a goal-oriented generation. And so that's the baby boomers. Then you have the Gen Xers, who are 45 years of age and older. And this group represents approximately
That's us.
So this group represents approximately 50 million Americans and 35% of the workforce. They're a bridge between the older and the younger generations and are credited with bringing about the work-life balance movement. That's because they spent a lot of time alone as children and saw firsthand how their hardworking parents became burned out. So this generation is known for its entrepreneurial spirit. They represent the highest percentage, 55% of startup founders. Even if they don't have their own businesses, Gen Xers prefer to work independently with minimal supervision. They value work-life balance, autonomy, flexibility, opportunities to grow and make choices, and having relationships with mentors. They are skeptical of authority and prefer a no-nonsense approach to communication and are comfortable with both traditional and digital tools of communication. They also believe that promotions should be based on competence, not rank, age, and seniority.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're singing my song. I'm
You
aligned
identify?
I align and identify to so much you said.
They are motivated by recognition from their supervisor, flexible schedules, and benefits like working remotely, bonuses, and I added, and gift cards.
Gift cards.
This generation likes gift cards. Okay, and then there's millennials who are 29 years of age and older. They're also known as Gen Y and the trophy generation, and they make up 37% of the workforce. Millennials seek purpose in their work and place a high value on collaboration, diversity, and regular feedback. They enjoy selling their skills to the highest bidder. So unlike baby boomers, they are not loyal. They have no problem jumping from one organization to another. And I've seen that a lot with my clients, with just keeping people and getting them to come to work.
Yes, yes. What's the age group again?
It's 29 plus to 45, so it's
Okay.
like 30s into the early 40s.
Okay.
So they have no problem jumping from one organization to another. The work culture is extremely important to this generation, and they want to work in an environment where they can collaborate with others. They are tech savvy, adaptable, and often prefer a less hierarchical workplace. Flexible schedules, meaningful work, time off, and embracing technology to communicate are very important to millennials, and they thrive in environments with structure, stability, continued learning, and immediate feedback. They really prefer that open door, that open door policy that some organizations speak to. They really hold you to it. If you don't leave your door open, that's a problem.
They
for
come
them.
a knocking.
Yeah, they do.
And then we have the
Gen Zs. So the Gen Zs are 13 years of age and older. They're also known as Generation 9/11. This generation makes up 1/4 of the population, which makes this generation larger than the baby boomers and the millennials, and currently comprise approximately 8% of the workforce now, and are projected to make up 30% of the workforce by 2030. They value transparency, rapid career growth, and meaningful work, and are motivated by social rewards, mentorship, and constant feedback. They prefer flexible schedules and want to be given responsibility. Other areas of motivation are providing experiential rewards and opportunities for personal growth. And they expect structure, clear directions, and transparency. What is most intriguing about them is that a majority of them prefer face-to-face communication, and they prefer digital communication and expect organizations to be socially responsible and forward-thinking.
Absolutely, I see that in my kids, but I can see how it would be hard to manage a staff or
Definitely.
a company with all of these different personalities and needs.
Yes.
I can definitely see that. So my sympathies to the
Supervisors.
supervisors who just got ranked on with that percentage, because they're trying to, do for everybody.
Yeah, and also what generation the supervisor is from also has a bearing on that too. Which
sure.
is, not to go too far into the weeds on that, but
Yeah.
it's true. When I'm talking to a client about their supervisory group, I'm interested in knowing their age, not because I'm discriminating, but because I'm just want to get a feel for sort of the characteristics of their generation, so I can speak to what resonates with them about helping their workforce. I mean, if they're working with traditionalists or baby boomers, and they're a millennial, they're going to want to, you want to be sensitive to those needs.
You know what I love about this that I just thought of is about how important it is to have all these generations together.
Yeah.
Because they all bring something different to the table.
Yes,
Right?
that's right.
And how valuable it is for a company to have that diversity
Definitely.
of age.
Yes.
Because, everybody's going to learn from each other.
I was just thinking
Right.
that
and
the learning
and
from
enhance
each other. Yeah.
each other.
Right.
I think that would be so important for any business to really have that diversity in age.
Yes, I agree.
So Diane, what do you have to offer now
Well, I was just thinking about what you're saying, and I love the millennials because they just really help me a lot. They teach me how to use different technology things, and they seem to be very patient with the older generation from the people that I've met anyway in my work experience. So hats off to them. Yes.
Yes, I agree. And then there's the I don't want to miss Generation Alpha, which is the birth to 13 group.
Okay.
So they're
coming down the
but we don't
pike.
have
Right.
a lot of characteristics about that group yet. So
Yeah.
coming down the pike. So suggestions to help with this civility in the workplace. We have a slide for that.
Yes.
Thank goodness, because I'd love to see some of these recommendations, because I know it will also help in our families.
yeah,
Right?
definitely. Yeah, and all of what we're talking about here today can be transferred to our relationships with our family, with our friends, and not just in our workplaces. So.
Right.
So the slide, I don't know if that slide's up, but
Yeah,
some
can
of
we bring up the slide
There it
for
is. There it is.
suggestions?
yeah, and I just wanted to mention some of the primary challenges, kind of to sum up, working with all the generations is, I think it's kind of become apparent that face-to-face communication versus digital communication is a source of, I wouldn't say necessarily incivility, but it can be a source of conflict and definitely it's something that a supervisor needs to think about and navigate. I mean, it sounds simple, but it is really important to figure out the best way to communicate with the mixed group, because everybody has varying levels of tech savviness. And basically, structure versus guidance, autonomy versus self-direction, that kind of, and self-direction and so forth. But in terms of suggestions to help, you socially and in a workplace, tailoring communication. I mean, using multiple ways of communicating, as I just said, encouraging open dialogue. If somebody is coming to for one of my clients, if an employee is coming to a supervisor to talk about something that really applies to the work area, the work group, or even the whole organization, it's important to bring that up and bring that out. So it's not, just the two of them talking about it. It's you include more people in the conversation. So that's really important, to open up the dialogue, because by doing that, you are you're opening up the door for people to express how they feel, no matter how you might feel about what they're saying, but they're actually speaking it. So it's out there, people can discuss it and get it out of, out of the closet kind of thing, and you're all talking about things.
I almost see this all really being like an open communication, because flexible work policies creates open communication. And
Yes.
everything that you had on that list, if you could bring that back up, the reciprocal mentorships, not
Yes.
always having the older one mentoring, and creating that little bit of a team dynamic. I think that really,
Absolutely.
I think, lifts people up when maybe a millennial or a Gen Z could reach out to a boomer, say, hey, I know how to do that. What can you teach me?
Right.
So having that back and forth can really boost morale, because there's not just one person helping another.
Right.
And I love the recognize achievements, and that is like recognizing also one's strengths that they bring to the table too.
Exactly.
And collectively the achievements, but they come from each different pieces or different parts that people bring together.
And there are different
And to
experiences.
acknowledge it.
And who doesn't
Yeah.
love gratitude?
Exactly.
So
And
Sheila,
gratitude.
Yeah, and
we really, really appreciate you bringing this to us, because, we could talk forever about this.
Oh, yes.
So we need to know how people can get in touch with you if they ever wanted to have a conversation about
Or like,
HR.
I need this in
Yes.
my work.
Yes.
I need this for my business.
Yes. How
Well,
can they get in touch
I
with you?
have-
Need you, Sheila, at our place.
So I have a website. It's www.shorelinehr.com. And my office is located in Clinton, Connecticut, but I'm all over the state, actually all over the New England region, actually. So, my phone number is 860-256-9881.
Awesome.
That was so full of many pearls.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Fascinating. Loved it. Yes.
It was wonderful. And thank you for starting off 2026 with a bang of something so important and about civility in the workplace and beyond.
Yes.
So, as we like to end our show, always look
For the
the
silver lining.
Oh, I love that.